What's good, everybody? All right, a couple days into free agency, and Tom Telesco has been doing some work. I mean, he made a huge splash day one, and then he's brought in a couple pieces that I really like, that I think they're going to create some good competition in that locker room. It really makes some guys earn their positions on that football field. And so let's get into it. Let's talk about the guys we brought in. Let's talk about the guys that we even let walk. And my takes on that, and get ready for the comment section because I want to hear from you guys as well. Get your opinion as well. So before I get started, if you could, please like this video, subscribe, turn those notifications. I'm doing my next giveaway at 2,500 subscribers. If you want to be involved, hit that subscribe button. All right, so let's get into this, right? First and foremost, I think the first name that really dropped, it was the day before the free agents could officially sign, was Ameer Abdullah. I think that's a great move. I think it's great bringing him in. It's a veteran presence, veteran running back, obviously. We now know that Josh Jacobs has gone to Green Bay, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But you bring him in 1 year, $1.85 million with $850,000 guaranteed. He showed last year that he is a very reliable third down back. He can catch the ball extremely well at the backfield. He's quick once he has the ball in his hands. So I really like the move. I really like the move, bringing him back in, again, having that veteran presence and not having to worry about that third round back in the draft or even free agency. And so bringing him at a great price, again, $1.85 million, $150,000 guaranteed. Great price, bringing him in. I love that move. Now, one guy that I do think we can possibly target later in the draft is Keelan Robinson out of Texas. I did a video on the running back prospects coming out of college. I think Keelan Robinson is a great guy that we could target in the 7th round. And so keep that in mind. So let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about the Ameer Abdullah pickup? You know, rated from 1 to 10, 1 being absolutely horrible, 10 being the absolute best pickup we could have done. So rate that from 1 to 10. In my opinion, I give it an 8. I give it an 8 for all the reasons that I just explained, but I think it's a great pickup in addition to that locker room, in addition to that competition in that running back room for that third down back. So next up, Andre James. We brought Andre James back in 3 years, $24 million, $16 million guaranteed. You know, last year he ended, I believe PFF had him ranked as the 14th best center. I think he was a little bit better than that. I probably would have put him more in that 12 position ranking. But that really solidifies on the left side. We got Colton Miller, we got Dylan Purnam, and now we got Andre James at the center spot. You know, we still can bring back Greg Van Roten, which I'd really like to see him come back for 1 more year. He played really solid last year. And look, we got to address the right tackle position. Again, Jermaine Illuminor, he left to the Giants. I'll talk a little bit about that in a second. But we got to address that right tackle position. I think we will in the draft, and I hope we do in the draft. So, you know, one thing I will say about this signing is there's a lot of talks about us bringing back a quarterback. And one of the things that a quarterback really has to do is he has to have chemistry with his receivers, but he also has to have chemistry with his center. You know, the cadence, the snap count, that always has to be on point, and quarterbacks do it differently. And Andre James and Aiden O'Connell worked extremely well last year. One of the least penalized offensive lines and one of the least penalized teams last year. And that's what I really like to see, is the chemistry between him and Aiden O'Connell. And so is that a little bit of a sign of what we're bound to see going into next year? You know, is Aiden O'Connell really being looked at as a potential starter for us next year? So again, I'm just speculating, but you bring back Andre James, and he has that chemistry with Aiden O'Connell. That is a huge connection for a quarterback to have to start at the beginning of the season. So, again, let me know, 1 to 10, rank the signing of Andre James. Let me know in the comments down below. In my opinion, I give it an 8. The reason why I do is because, one, Andre James is a very good center. He's a solid center. He's going to do well for us. He's going to continue to get better. Let's put it that way. And also, I did a complete breakdown of the linemen coming out of the or entering into the NFL draft. And the center position is not very deep, so we don't have very many options. I don't see us picking a center in the 1st or 2nd, maybe even the 3rd round. And so bringing back Andre James, I think, is a really good decision based on what options we have out there. There wasn't a lot of free options of free agency either. And so I think, again, it was a good option based on or a good re-signing of Andre James based on the options that we had, whether it be the draft or free agency. And so I give it an 8. Let me know in the comments down below, 1 to 10, what your take is. And so here's the big signing. The big signing that dropped day one of free agency is bringing in Christian Wilkins, right? 6'4", 310 pounds. We signed him 4 years, $110 million with 84.75 guaranteed. Obviously the salary cap increased this year. Historically, the largest increase, I think, in all the years, I believe. And so, you gave him good money. And with Nevada having no state income tax, that money goes even further. So, look, one of the best things about Christian Wilkins is, you look at the film, you cannot block this guy one-on-one. You have to double team him. There are multiple times where he actually takes on or requires a triple team, right? He bypasses that double team and the running back has to come and help out. He's got so much quickness. He uses his size. He may not be that 350-pounder or 360-pounder, but he plays so much bigger than he looks on film and on tape. He's coming off of a 9-sack season. This is his 5th year in the league, and I really do think that we're getting Christian Wilkins at almost the peak of his ability. I think that he's got a good 2-3 more really good years left, maybe even more, but at least 2-3 extremely good years left. And I think the Raiders are picking him up at the peak of his potential. And so I love this pick. I love the fact that we are bolstering the trenches, on the defensive line side. If you can just imagine Max Crosby, Christian Wilkins, Tyree Wilson, and Malcolm Kuntz coming after that quarterback on 3rd down, I mean, good luck to the AFC West quarterbacks, because that D-line is coming after you. And that's one of the biggest things with Christian Wilkins, right? He is a 3-down lineman. There's a lot of guys that you could pick up, and sometimes have a couple knocks on some of the interior D linemen coming out of college going into the NFL draft. And some of them, you just don't know if they can play all 3 downs. Christian Wilkins is 100% an all 3-down guy. He is going to play 100% of those snaps every single game. And that's what I love. If you're going to pay for a guy, if you're going to put a huge price tag on a guy and pay it, he better produce 100% of the game. And so that's what I love. So let me know in the comments down below. Let me know, what is your ranking on this 1 to 10? Again, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. I give it a 10. Because again, 1, I love building in the trenches. And he is going to be just a scary presence in that interior of our defense with the rest of the help that we have around him. And also, I think this is what Antonio Pierce and Tom Telesco is doing, is they're sending a message to the rest of the AFC West and the rest of the NFL, is that we're going to come after you on defense. That's what that tells me, is it's not just they're not just joking when they say it, right? They're not faking it. They're actually putting it in place, and they're saying, we are coming at you on defense. We're going to put the fear of God in you, and this is us proving it. So I love this move. I love this move. Again, rate it 1 to 10 down in the comments down below. Now, next up, let's go to Gardner Minshew, right? There's been a ton of back and forth on Gardner Minshew. Social media is going nuts. They hate it. They think, why would you bring him in, especially at the price tag that we did? So, for example, we signed him to a 2-year, $25 million contract, $15 million guaranteed. Now, look, what this tells me, right? What this tells me is that we're paying him really good backup money with the potential to be starter money. That's what it is, because Aiden O'Connell is the starter on this team right now. He was the starter last year. He is the starter as of right now. Gardner Minshew has to come in, and he's got to compete. And if you want to bring in somebody to compete with Aiden O'Connell, I do think that is a really good situation based on all the free agent quarterbacks that are out there. Right? The biggest free agent was Kirk Cousins. He's now down in Atlanta. And based on all the free agents that we could have brought in, I think Gardner Minshew does a really good job of, or is going to do a really good job of, just creating competition in that locker room for Aiden O'Connell. And so does that mean Does that mean that we're not going to go out and get a quarterback? No, I still think that that Tom Telesco, Antonio Pierce, I still think that they're going to target a quarterback in the draft. But sometimes the draft just doesn't play out the way you want it to, right? It doesn't, just because we want to jump up doesn't mean the other teams are going to say, you got it here, like, we'll take it. No, they're going to field every offer that is given to them, that is put on their table, and it's up to them to choose us. So nothing is guaranteed in the draft. So what they're doing is they are setting themselves up for plan A or plan B, possibly plan C, right? Plan B is most likely Aiden O'Connell. Plan C could be Gardner Minshew competes and beats out Aiden O'Connell for the job, and now Gardner Minshew is the starter for the 2024 season. And so I think that's what they're doing. Now, I think it's just a very smart move. They're preparing just in case the draft doesn't play out the way they want. So, guys, let me know. Oh, one thing I will say, though, is, again, I like the pickup one because I think Gardner Minshew actually fits Luke Getsy's system pretty damn well. And the reason why I say that is because Luke Getsy showed in Chicago that he likes to run those RPOs. When Luke Getsy was with the Green Bay Packers, he wasn't the offensive coordinator, but they ran a lot of RPOs with Aaron Rodgers. So he sees that offense. He has seen that offense developed, and he moved it onto Chicago. And so Gardner Minshew runs the RPO extremely well. He did it very well in Indianapolis. So bring him over. You already know he's got that part dialed in, and it's going to push Aiden O'Connell to become that quarterback as well. So I like it. So let me know in the comments down below, rank this pickup, right? 1 to 10. Let me know in the comments down below what you rate the Gardner Minshew pickup. I give it a 7, okay? I give it a 7 because 1, creates great competition. 2, it's a great plan B or plan C, and I do think he fits Luke Getsy's system extremely well. And based on the free agent quarterbacks available in free agency, I think Gardner Minshew was a very solid pickup. So that's my grade on it. I give it a 7. Again, let me know in the comments down below. So, guys, that kind of breaks down all the free agents that we've brought in so far. Let me go over some of the guys that we let go. One thing I will add, again, I don't think Justin Fields is now out because we brought in Gardner Minshew, right? Justin Fields' stock, I think, has gone down dramatically. You know, you might find him being a draft day type of trade situation where maybe someone gives a 4th round to trade for Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields' trade value has dropped dramatically after these last couple of days. So I think Justin Fields could still be in the mix, but it might be just a little bit later down the road. Again, let's talk about the guys that we let go. I'm going to talk them very briefly. Josh Jacobs, he's not Green Bay. He made a business decision. I like the fact that Tom Telesco didn't overpay for certain positions because, look, Green Bay paid Josh Jacobs. They paid him more than I would have liked, more than I would like the Raiders to give up. And so, you know, good luck playing in the cold, Josh Jacobs. But look, as of right now, Zamir White is the lead back. I think we're going to address it in the draft as well. I'd love to see us get Ray Davis possibly in the 3rd round. If he's still sitting in the 3rd round, Ray Davis is my favorite running back coming out of this draft out of Kentucky. Again, if we can get him in the 3rd round, I'd love to get him. Joe Mixon was just released from the Cincinnati Bengals. That might be a name to watch out for. Jermaine Illuminor, we let him walk. He went over to the Giants. Makes a lot of sense. Carmen Bursillo is the offensive line coach over there, which was our offensive line coach last year. So he brings over Jermaine Illuminor. Again, I think we're going to have to address this in the draft. I'd like to see us, if we don't get a quarterback 1st round, I'd love to see us pick up somebody like Talisi Fuaga or J.C. Latham at the number 13 spot. Really just solidify this offensive line with some solid players. Guys, I mean, Talisi Fuaga would be my number 1 pick. I mean, he's an absolute mauler. You want to talk about building the trenches and being mean in the trenches? I think he's a guy that can do that. But then again, we have Thayer Mumford. We also have Dalton Wagner. You know, we do have some pieces that could potentially fill in, but I'd love to see us address it very early in the NFL draft. Amik Robertson goes and signs with the Lions. You know, we need to address that. the cornerback position in this coming draft is a very deep position. So I think there's a really good chance that we could pick up somebody in the second or third round and still find a potential lockdown corner, a day one starter. So we'll definitely address that in the draft. And now one thing to watch out for is Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo is there's reports coming out that he is going to be potentially cut very soon. If we would have waited until June 1, we would have gained at least $24 million in cap space. If we cut him before that, it's $11 million. There's reports saying that we're possibly going to cut him before June 1, which only gives us $11 million. And if they do that, to me, it tells me that we need money now because we want to make a move. And if we do make that move, one name to watch out for, which at least I want to watch out for, is Kendall Fuller, the cornerback out of the Washington Commanders. I think that if we can pick up a lockdown corner in free agency, not necessarily have to address it in the draft and really focus on the offensive tackle, maybe running back, maybe still pick up a corner for competition. But Kendall Fuller, he's still out there. He's still a top corner in the National Football League. If we do cut Jimmy G in these next couple of days and get that money quick, look out for that name to possibly drop. Austin Hooper, also, it was just announced that he signed with the New England Patriots. One of the guys that I'd like to bring in now that we really only have Michael Mayer and, God, I'm blanking on his name. We have another tight end on the roster, but Robert Tonyan. Robert Tonyan played for the Chicago Bears last year. He knows Luke Getsy's system. He can come in. He can help Michael Mayer get up to speed. And Robert Tonyan is still a serviceable tight end. And we get him probably at that $1.8, $2 million mark, 1 year contract, very cheap, very team-friendly contract. But again, knows Luke Getsy's system. We can get him in quick. So, guys, let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are on all these guys we let go. But I'd love to hear your feedback. So I appreciate you guys sticking with me. Again, if you can, like this video, subscribe, turn on those notifications, and I'll hit you guys in the next video. All right, I'm out.